Um, Hello. This will be my first entry. It's currently August 29th. Gonna be recording my trades and my thought processes and see how I can make myself better. I feel like at this point it's just gonna take that high. Move the screen closer. We had a 8:30 news today. I think it was like CPI or something. It's pretty much what this 1 minute candle is. It's just news. Um, we have a bunch of like bearish inefficiencies. These gaps here. I want to make sure it's recording this stuff, but alright. So within this, we practically look for anything that spikes in interest. So we have a devil mark 5 minute. Pretty much means we have a candle body and two wicks. Sometimes when you don't have a top wick, which it says this one opened at 699.25, it's up here showing all these candles or whatever. So open at 699.25 and the high was the same. So that means there's no wick here. So, I mean, ideally, if I wanted a retracement within this gap, since this hourly swept this high and closed below, or technically in this like super big range, this is a Fibonacci tool. Um, so with this fib, typically if you're taking trades, you look for a premium and discount of the range. With this range, assuming that we're going to continue lower, we're probably going to have to tap into probably 70% of this range. So when we trade premium and discount, premium is in the top half of the 50% and the discount is within the bottom half of the percent. If we were looking for longs and we use this range, this would be the typical place where we would like to see a shift to go higher. But right now it looks pretty I mean, technically we're still bullish only because we haven't had a down candle close below this 4 hour low. So we honestly could be just in a discount to go long. This is pretty much this is your mental when you take your trades. You have to look for you pretty much have to look at the market as if it could change on you at any point, right? So as much as I have all these reasons for market to go higher, if the market doesn't shift and show me that it wants to go higher, I could be looking at, you know, taking some losses. So realistically, the market doesn't open up for another hour. I wanted to see how structure was looking, but since the hour technically had shifted bearish, we have a change in the states typically. So you see how we have this low, or I guess down close candle, and an up close candle, down close candle. When you get a series of up close candles get closed below, usually it's a change in the state. 9 times out of 10, like if we're gonna continue lower, price likes to respect, high time frame change in the states. So we haven't tapped into it yet. This doesn't necessarily count because these are the series of candles that went lower, unless you were kind of early. But I mean, realistically, no. It's a real difficult way to. Yeah. I mean, I guess you got the retest here, but typically you want an hourly candle to close out, sweep, and then come back up, retest, and then get a nice reaction away. Pretty much, aligning that the small time frame is going to be aligning itself to go lower. Thinking, because this is all a model. But ideally, since we have this range here, anything in here is fair game. This is where you typically would see your shift. Which is typically, you have a series of up close candles close below. You'll get something like this on a smaller time frame, which is the 5 minute. Like a lot of times you'll see, we're looking for these gaps on a high time frame. You'll look for these gaps on a lower time frame, which, technically we did tap into one. Oops, my bad. Market likes to rebalance ranges, look for, well, retrace the equilibrium, which is 50% of a move. It likes to hunt liquidity, which is usually highs or lows, or it likes to go to inefficiencies, and gaps like this are inefficiencies. So we have a bearish gap there. Now we have a bullish gap here. Realistically, we could sweep this low, go a little higher. Assuming this is your change in the state. Up, ho, low, down, consolidate, break. Or, I guess this would be that would be more like your change in the state. Because when you're looking at everything, it's low, high, low, high, low, and then break. You gotta change in the state, and usually market will respect, hunt liquidity, dump, dump, and then once you get a breakout like this, 9 times out of 10 it'll totally forgot what I was talking about here. Just rambling. I just don't want this video to be like boring. But yeah, so this gap has been tapped into. Realistically, we could pretty much do that. Set it to the low of this 5 minute. Then we could target some more inefficiencies. So we have this devil's mark, which is the same on the 5 minute. When we had that candle that didn't have a top wick, usually liquidity or the market likes to go to inefficiencies like this, especially. So with that 1 minute specifically, we could target that as a area of take profit. So you just take this, bring that up here. We're looking at a 2.5 RR, which isn't bad. That's ideally what you should look for as a trader. You should be taking at least like 1 to 1.5 or 1 to 2s at a minimum, especially if you have a decent win rate. But sometimes if you can also just wait for the market to shift. See how we came back into this inefficiency and we tapped. Ideally, if you get a smaller time frame change in the state. So this is a 1 minute. So each candle here is 1 minute long. So this candle took 60 seconds to print, 60 seconds to print, a minute, a minute, a minute, a minute. This is a 5 minute chart. So each of these candles are 5 minutes long. It takes a whole 5 minutes for it to print. You can notice these time bars will tell you I have 22 seconds before this candle finishes. This one's got a minute and 20. And this is an hourly chart. On the hourly chart it says I have 16 minutes until it's the next hour, which, down here I also have real time. But let's say you tapped into this inefficiency on the 5 minute and this minute candle closes above a down close candle, which it did. A lot of the times you can fix your RR by doing that, and then you can lower your risk by a lot, and now you're going for a 12, which I ideally don't like. Like, I don't like having my stop loss so close, even though we did have a tap of like a lower time frame and a shift on a lower time frame. I always like to give my my plan to have some wiggle room just in case, because you're not bound by your RR, like the money you make. You don't have to make a whole bunch of money in one day. Which ideally in this is if you slowly build up your capital, that's when you're going to start winning because you technically can risk more because your account size is larger. But this is just it's almost it's almost like a savings. You risk some of your savings. You don't risk all of your savings, just for a rainy day. So you slowly build up your savings account this way to make money. Um, yeah, I mean, ideally, I like to wait till market open, but noticing that news had somewhat of an impact on the market. It moved like 60 points, I think. Yeah, it's yeah, about 53 points from the low. Yeah, 54 points. Fun fact, don't trade news unless you're already in the move. Like, let's say this minute candle's about to print and your next minute is news. I would wait till news to print before you take any trades, because a lot of times news likes to point towards where it wants to go. Because all news is really it's just the market getting to its destination a lot faster, ideally. So if you're on the flip side, you're either going to realize real quick you're in the wrong spot, or you had the right idea. But it's pretty much it. This is pretty much trading in a nutshell. You see structure, you play by your rules, you risk a reasonable amount, and that's that. It's everything that you need to know, really. You just need to have a familiar understanding with, a high time frame breakdown where we went, what the other two sessions did, because right now we're trading pre-New York market, and there's technically four sessions in a day, but when the day closes, we don't really look at the Australian session like they have their own session, and then around 8 p.m., 9 p.m., like I think Asia opens up, and then between 8 to 2, Asia's pretty much live doing their thing, and I think at 1 in the morning London opens. So from London's open to Asia close, they're both going back and forth taking trades, which is usually when the market's more volatile when you have two sessions overlapping. I don't know the time frames 100%, but I definitely need to go in and look at all that. But um yeah, it's just hey, just literally waiting on time. Everything's time based. It's all this is all about though. The only thing I don't like about this is we have devil marks on the 1 minute. Like market is moving really fast. See, there's inefficiency. It's open at 4675, and the low also is 4675. And the top left corner, because it goes O open, H high, L low, and then C close. It's pretty much what a candle is. It has an open, a low, a high, a close. Or it's an open, low, high, close. You know, pretty much you're printing a bearish or bullish candle. Um, yeah, but no, we just have two of these, which just means the market's just really aggressive right now. Which obviously this is aggressive. For 60 seconds, this isn't really aggressive, but you could tell that the market is like shifting up. Targeting this inefficiency or the devil's mark on this candle. But I mean, ideally with the 1 hour ideally stacked up, I have I have this dotted line that shows me equilibrium of a gap, and ideally if you are looking for shorts in this gap, you kind of want to see something that's above this line, and then Yeah, you're pretty much good if you wanted to take like a short. So right now we're on a long entry until inefficiency. I typically don't counter trend, which is going against your overall bias for the day, you know. I feel like we're gonna come in between like 9:30 and 10 o'clock. We'll probably shift, be super aggressive or whatnot, but yeah, the market can do whatever it wants. Market's the market. You just need to have an idea on where it's gonna go and act on it. That's it. Um, I guess also this is a fun fact, just in case I need to teach my daughter or my girl. If you have you have this gap, right, and a candle comes in and taps and respects, that's good. If this candle was to come all the way down and close and filled this gap, it's giving you an early indication that, the market might potentially go lower. But right now we're technically bullish since this 5 minute closed above a series of up close candles. It also filled this gap, and I don't think there's, I mean, I guess there's a small gap here on the 5 minute. Super small, but hey man, I've taken trades and lost against something this big, so just because it's not big doesn't mean it ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? But as long as we don't also with changing the states, for me to flip my bias on the day, we technically would need this candle to close below, and then from 9 to 10, the 10 a.m. candle would have to come up and shift up here, and we'd have to somewhere in this consolidation, where markets just bang like up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and down. We take a long or a short, depending on how ideally how the structure is. But ideally, target profits on like targets for the day, it's either gonna be a day high or a day low close. So if we're gonna be taking any entries really, this is the daily candle. Each candle, takes 24 hours to print. Yeah, so we're either gonna be looking for this high or this low, or this high. Since they're like relatively close to each other, 42 points. Oh, these are 40 points apart. We have some low resistance liquidity, so we have this low, this low, this low. So we could based off the market conditions, we could be here for a sweet treat if I was trading live funds. So this is my pretty much my targets for the day. Once all these targets are reached, or I make my minimum account. So this is my personal daily loss limit. If I'm down 300 bucks, it closes me out for the day. It locks me out, and it does the same thing for this personal daily profit target. If I make 500 bucks, it gets me out. So with this, I have a whole strategy with this. So ideally, let's say I want to risk this whole 300 bucks. When the market came down and tapped in this initial gap, I would have put 150 on the table, left it here, set my profit target. With 2.5 on 150, it would have made me about $400. Risking 150 because of the 2.5 versus the reward. Your risk to reward is based off of what you're risking, and then the multiplication of your what you risk is what you take. You know. So if I was going for a 1-to-1, risking 150, I'd only make 150. If I go for 1-to-2, it's 150 for 300. And now that we're sitting at 2.5, it's like 150 times 2.5, which is like 400, I think, or it's 375. 375? 375. Pretty much 400 bucks. When the market comes down, I risk initial 50 bucks. 150 for 300. Or, yeah, 375. My math is fucked up. It's early. When this 1 minute candle had shifted, I would have added more contracts, assuming that we would have been, continuing this move up. But now that we're consolidating here and filled this 1 minute gap, I'm not 100% sure, but we also haven't shifted and closed below this 1 minute gap, which I probably should draw this because this is going to make it's just visually easier. Since we came up and we closed, but we necessarily never closed. Oh god. Oh god. Oh no. Alright, shift. Bam. What'd I do? Oh no. I'm very confused. Okay, I don't know what I did. But alright. Um hopefully that never happens again. So let me redraw this out. 1 minute gap. Disrespect. It disrespected, bullish price action. We're consolidating. I'm not sure what we're consolidating for. We also have this devil's mark. I told you, the candle light to come down and tap and retest. So, gap, disrespect. We're still respecting bullish price action only because it didn't close below this. This is like a 1 to 2. If one of these happens, it's like, look for this. But if the market comes back up and closes below, or closes above, I hate that these aren't like lining up. This is real shit price action. If this 1 minute closes above this, then all of this is, null and void. This was just someone's looking for a gap to retest, and then, you got a bullish breakout. So realistically, this should keep going up as long as you get to close above that line. We got like 6 seconds for us to have a decision. But, it could happen on this 1 minute candle, it could happen on the next 1 minute candle. But the 5 minute isn't really printing pretty either. Oh, we're still on the daily candle. I'm like, oh, the hourly closed above. No, it did not, because it is the hourly. Okay, so let's go back to our intermediate time frame because we are intraday trading. We are trading for the day. We don't swing and we don't scalp. Scalps are, trades that take anywhere between 1 minute to 2 minutes to play out. Swing trading takes anywhere between weeks, like multiple days up to a week to even maybe a month for it to play out. These people are like, I don't know how to explain it. Like they'll like buy here, hold their stop, and then they'll just go days. Obviously my chart's broken up by the day. So this is the price action that happened on one day, happened on another day, another day, another day. Yesterday was a really good day. It was like really easy to read. It came down, tapped this inefficiency, it shifted, and then it just took off. But I had taken a trade yesterday around 8, around this time. It came in, tapped, took my profit target, market opened up with news, and then took off. It came down, reswept where I entered. If I was still in my entry and never took partials or profit, I would have got stopped out at break even, or I would have taken a loss. But realistically, higher time frame, 4 hour to the daily, we should be long only because we finally filled this gap. We could be looking for some like lower time frame play, or this is the shift. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, no one really knows. It's just price. But 9 times out of 10, when a daily candle prints, it goes in the same direction. But obviously, not all those days are the same. When you get an inside bar, that day it should have went down and closed below, or at least swept this low. It didn't. We got an explosive reaction. We had a down close candle for retracement. This next day came down, swept, took out the inefficiency, closed above. And then I was thinking that this was going to be the day that we were going to go and close below, but we've actually filled this gap. So realistically, if we're going to be taking any buy side liquidity, it's going to be at 838, which honestly this probably was the move for the day, but which that would have been like insane RR for the day. That's a 9 RR. You're risking $100 to make $900. Gotta close, but I just hate that it like slowly just, scoliosed its way up to the top, but what are you gonna do? Speaking of which, I'm probably gonna hop into a Discord call. You can hear all the other guys talk or whatever the fuck ever. I haven't heard from John in a while. While this is loading. I think my biggest issue right now with day trading is I can see a setup, I can see all the reasons why I should go in its direction, and I'll take a trade, right? As any trader would. But when I'm in the trade, my trade management as I'm inside the trade is so bad. Like I'll either get in, I'll get out early, or like I'll set like a really silly stop loss placement, just get stopped to take off. Like your trade has to have a profit and a safety net all at the same time. And right now my execution or being in the trade, I'm either break even or it's just bad. But all right, we're gonna go to the trading floor. That's that. We're gonna go back to. Oh wait, I'm retarded. Put this back here. I don't really know what I'm mirroring. Okay, so yeah, we could be getting a shift in price. This would be crazy though if it swept all these lows and it disrespected the gap just for us to. Because realistically, we have this gap here, right? So with this days of price action, we are finally in, premium range to take shorts. Right now we are not 100% on board because the daily hasn't shifted yet, and we won't know if, next week is going to be a bullish week or a bearish week because it all depends on how today closes. But 21st, 22nd, 25th, we started on Monday on that close. Tuesday was great. Thursday was good. Well, Wednesday was good. Thursday was great. But tying all of this together, we could shit the bed. Only because we have this daily candle. I don't think there's any. Yeah, market's at like an all-time high, realistically. So we have a lot of price action that's down here that hasn't been tapped into yet. But that we came up, we shifted. We shifted this hour, this daily. Right now we're in all bearish price action. All week we've been counter trending. Only because the intermediate time frame was long. Realistically, because that Friday close set the tone for the rest of the week, for the next week, and we've just been longing. So if we get a close below this, we could be bearish next week. Um, yeah. Realistically, though, if I had taken this trade, this would have been my trade of the day. I have been noticing though that when pre-market has news at 8:30, that the rest of the day is pretty solid, but my win rate for the day on Fridays is pretty bad. So I don't necessarily see the reason to trade Fridays. I like to trade on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Mondays I don't really like taking trades because Monday is the day that the week is setting up and setting its tone. You know, so Tuesday I pretty much play off of Monday price action, and then on Friday it's pretty much like sometimes it's aggressive, but we're getting out of that summer like real bad price action, and we're getting to some really good price action. So I'm excited for that. where we just had like 200-300 point ranges, and it was insane. Like New York was just like would just rip in one direction, you know. And then those days, people were making money, so much money. You know, you have a New York session that takes like a 1 or 200 point move. You gotta think about this. Like 647, this is 50 points. We're talking about on an average, the market will move like high as fuck. Like it would take this in the day. But since summer price action isn't really doing its glory, you gotta think about it. Over a series of days, we have moved from 764 to wait, never mind. Wait. I could be looking at this wrong. Yeah, like seven, but that's 2790. This is 1300 points. Ideally, when New York, we would move a third of this in a day, and you've noticed it's taken like weeks to play out because every 5 candles is a week. So 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week. We've been in this like 1 month consolidation. Still pretty much bullish though, but I could have swore we were gonna at least take this. Sorry, I have a lot of this is a lot of chicken scratch, like a lot of drawings, but it's just setting me up for the next time we get into this lower price action. I'm gonna keep this, but oh no, go back. I deleted the wrong line. Bang. Yeah. So 1 month. Each candle's a month. 1 week. See, it was like great, and then we swept, and we came down. We swept again, and the weekly hasn't taken a high or a low, which is honestly it's concerning, cause I've never seen an inside bar on a weekly. That's never happened. Or like 5 days of straight consolidation where we didn't take a week high or a week low, which respectfully, if we're going to have any targets and we're going to take any targets today, at this point, it might as well be a higher time frame low. Or we could sweep these lows on the weekly because these were drawn on the daily. We could sweep this and take the high today. But the ideal of it, knowing that the daily is bullish. Oh God, one. One day. Okay. Ideally, that would be some crazy ass shit if it like played out that way, Just swept these lows, shifted, and then it blew up. But at this point, yeah, put that back. Yeah, at this point, it's gonna take. It's either gonna come up and take this high, or it's gonna come and take this low. Which I'm telling you, if it's gonna sit here and take these lows, it'll take this low too. Which is it's just stacking reasons why I'm short biased today, and we're technically taking a counter trend trade, which I guess it's whatever, but I'm just not liking this price action. Like these close, open, close, open, close. Like this is where the candle closed. The top of this candle of the low close should have been up here. This price action is just really bad. I don't really familiarize myself with it. Ideally though, this should play out. We might come back down, sweep this, and then take up higher because what is this? The 5 minute? Yeah, this is probably a reason for market to come down and sweep. So we're probably gonna come in, tap the equilibrium of this gap, take off. If it's gonna go higher, if not, this 5 minute will come down. See, we closed up, did a real bad job, and then if we shift here, it honestly it could just be dumping from here with the market. New York pumps out the most money, so who knows really? It's my take. That's what I'm saying. You got to be on both sides. You got to be real careful because this is money you're playing with. Money you work hard for. Drinking my coffee. And to make this make a lot of sense with time frame alignment, I need every time frame to shift. So I was telling you, so this is all bearish, so we're good, right? Low, high, low. We haven't really tapped into the equilibrium of the range yet. Yeah, we haven't tapped into the equilibrium. I gotta get rid of some of these gaps because it's just noise. So this gap I'm actually considered whatever the fuck. So this is the change in the state. I'll keep this. I really want price to come back up here, test, and then for the 5 minute to shift. I don't want it to take this, take that, shift, because that's ideally whatever the fuck, but it's just the price action on the super high time frame um hasn't taken a liquidity pool yet for it to complete its week, and I think it's crazy that it's Friday and it hasn't yet. Sometimes usually it takes it by now, whether it was London or Asia or yesterday's New York. It shouldn't take 4 days to create an inside bar where the candle doesn't take a previous candle's high or low close. But this is getting aggressive. I like it though. Get a low sweep and a candle close above. Get a 1 minute shift. Could go higher. Another reason why I don't like Fridays. But yeah. Because, like I said, this is counter trend trading. We shouldn't be trading this. Unless the market really wants to take that high. Which is gone. Where'd it go? Oh wait, I think it's way above here. Yeah. We're either taking this, which I think is highly unlikely, or we're taking this. No. This. Which is honestly insane. You know what? Speaking of which, I think that is more. I think since we're so close to this, we might take this. Since we have the stack liquidity down here, and could go either or. It's fucking Friday. Friday payday. Someone's getting paid. Patient traders and other people are taking trades. I feel like this trade is gonna take so much memory. This video is 38 minutes long right now. I really wanted to tap into this, at least the change in the state, or take that 5 minute high. Pretty much at our optimal, entry. If we would have came in and shifted though, we would have probably, this red bar would probably be up here to average price. But even a 1 to 2 would have been nice. But this ideally would have been nicer if we were open, not pre-market. Let's see what I'm saying. But we haven't swept. It's just like a bunch of stacked reasons why we should go higher. Because 9 times out of 10, news likes to take a news high, which is this big candle. So we'll probably take this high, tap into equilibrium, sweep that high, tap into this, and get a 5 minute shift, probably somewhere down here, assuming that price is going to come back up, break, or something. But Jesus, you heard my knuckles pop? It's Crazy. Explosive. Explosive. Come on. You know you want to go higher. At this point, might as well sweep that low. This low. I'm talking about. Can't really see because this fucking thing's in the way, but yeah, this low. When you have a relative equal lows, it's usually a nice liquidity pool. The 1 minute candle will come up, tap. Well, it'll sweep the low of it and then change direction to the higher. It just likes to do that stuff. I'm telling you, market does what it wants. Like you think you're getting saved because this 1 minute candle is printing higher? No. Market does what it wants. It's gotta make sure you're on the right side of it. Time and price. That's all it is. Time and price. I'm surprised none of these monkeys are on. It's 9:15. I could be wrong. You know, this is stack liquidity. You know, when market comes up and takes that high, it'll come back lower and take out that low. Then we're gonna go higher here. There's just no gaps, so it's all balanced price. It gives a reason for the market to shoot up higher. You know, let's say you were taking a trade and you missed all of this price action. You got on at 9:15. If we got a change in the state, you could have entered here, kept your stop there, and targeted, you know, the inefficiency. Yeah, market didn't do anything for the past hour. 10, 20, 30, 40. More like 30, 35 minutes. It's crazy. I'm gonna have to figure out how to cut all this video in bits and pieces. But I think this one video probably needs to be as long as it is because it kind of explains what I use, not really how much I know, if that makes sense. Because a lot of shit's just like order blocks, breakaway gaps, you know, swing highs, swing lows. All that other shit you pretty much just pick up when you are looking at people that day trade. Oh shit. We finally gonna take it? Is this gonna be the fuel that pushes price higher? Is this it? Never wants to do shit when I feel like getting all pumped up. You take your time, market. Do your thing. Maybe you didn't hear my knuckles pop. I think you're literally picking up the wind from my fan. It's on the ceiling. That's got that. You definitely have the sweep lows after that candle. Come on, come on. You gotta do it. Do it. Don't let your memes be dreams, brother. Do it. Yeah. If you get a 1 minute sweep and a 1 minute change in the state, then you're golden. Make your stop losses so much closer, your profits so much better. But this candle would would have to come down, sweep with a wick, and then close back up. I'm gonna keep this here just so you kind of can see what I'm talking about here. Yeah, these are primarily equal lows. 5 to 25. Yeah, 5 to. These are equal lows. If that's not a liquidity pool, I don't know what the fuck is. Got a lot of people with buy orders here that want to get stopped. They came down, they got swept, they closed above here, they have their lows down here, and then they just sat here in price action for like 20 minutes, just get stopped out. But let's find out. It's such bad price action. Holy fuck. Yeah, And a change in the state is really only valid as long as you tapped into some area of interest. I'm gonna put my jacket on, it's cold. Sorry. Fucking ceiling fan is like blowing. Alright, we swept that low. Now the 1 minute should get primarily aggressive now. Alright, so we didn't get a sweep. We got a close. It's a little different, but that 5 minute doesn't look good. This is why we don't trade pre-market on Fridays. I'm just sitting through garbage. I used to know people that would take trades and they would set like a limit order, like let's say you closed here and you had a buy stop or a sell stop here. They would take a buy stop to an area of interest, like bang bang, and they would have got out, or they would have taken a sell order, they would have gotten in here and then what would have gotten tagged out here, depending on which way the market was gonna go, and they were like in the market for like literally like 10-15 seconds. Alright, so this is your 1 minute change in the state. No, not yet. It didn't do it. I hate when it's just because technically it should have been because this is the up close and that candle should have been down here, which would mean that you would have gotten a close realistically, like right there. That's a candle closure above a series of candles, but since it's price action so garbage, like that's a open. So on a close, an open high low close is a open high low close. So this open should have been aligned with this open, or this close I mean, because it opened down here. It should have aligned and dropped. So this would have been your change in the state. And we're creating a gap right now, which is nice, because if this 1 minute doesn't come back down, which market's like really fucking aggressive right now. Alright, calm down, man. Chill, bro. Chill. Chill. You want this gap to be here. So that if the this 1 minute closes and it comes down and taps in, you honestly probably could. I don't like that. That was aggressive. It like closed, closed and went straight back up. Just for like RR reasons. Sometimes it's best to wait because this is a 7 RR versus a 2 RR and it's practically the same fucking trade. It's just like I said before. It scares me because I don't like doing that. It's pretty much the same trade. You know what I'm saying? So ideally, you would want this market to come down, tap into this inefficiency, and then continue higher. It's just the gap is so fucking small. One, two. I like have my stop loss 6 points below my entry. It's a crazy way to think, but hey man, you pay for the decisions. Did I really not get tagged in there? Are you serious? Brother. Come on. You don't even have a bottom wick. Make a bottom wick. Make a bottom wick first. Please. Please. Alright, fuck what I want, I guess. It's whatever. We have about 5 minutes anyways. Alright, we're in. I mean, we're really not, but I would never take this trade. Only because that's fucking this is crazy that this happened. I've never seen this. On top of a break, never. I would never have taken this. I'll take it if the 1 minute shifts back up, you know, but the fact that the 1 minute has come down, disrespected this gap, 9 times out of 10 it'll take this low. I'm telling you, man, market does what it wants. But ideally, market should go higher. This 1 minute is just so bad. It's so bad. Market's waiting for something. Watch. The moment it goes 9:30, it's gonna just explode. It's gonna pick a side and it's just gonna keep running. Every time we consolidate like this, it's just so weird because previous day was bullish, which is the only thing going against my overall thinking right now. But yeah, outside of that, like if we had gotten like a decent like bearish close or just, a real shit, bullish candle, I would have been on the side of like shorts 100%, but that daily close is the only thing throwing me off. Holy shit. We're explosive. Do it. Do the roar. Sorry. I love Shrek. Gotta think over your patience, forgiveness, love with no condition. Quick to admit it, more than I deserve. See, and when this minute closes above that minute, then I would have entered, and then I would have used that low as a stop. I'm telling you, man, I don't counter trend, but these are trades that I could have taken, didn't take it. I'm probably gonna rip up and take that news high, but I really want to take that news high, that 5 minute inefficiency, tap into the 1 hour fucking change in the state, and then I want the 5 minute to shift. I want the 5 minute to shift, and then I want the 1 minute to come in, tap into a gap, and then continue lower. That's ideally the trading plan for the day. You just gotta wait for market to open, wait for the 5 minute to shift, but that might take a good, 15, 20 minutes. Because you're waiting for a low time frame of multiple minutes to shift. But sometimes off market open, you get that 5 minute shift, and that's it. Because right now, we're just in an inefficiency. That's it. And we're lucky enough that the equilibrium of the 1 hour stacked gaps also align with the change in the state, which is also above whatever. Um, I'm gonna zoom this in because I don't like. Oh my god, what's going on? These are like really. Alright, I'm gonna make this a little bigger. Ideally, except for there being more gaps up here, we could take a 1 to 2. We'll use that high. No, we'll use that high. No, that high. We'll use that high. Ultimate day trade. Like let's say like we're not waiting for any confluences or whatever. Going for the first daily low, this would be a oh, market opens up in 2 minutes. It's usually when this 1 minute goes fucking berserk because it's also a thing that happens. Right. So this would be my, take profit 1, take profit 2, take profit 3, move my shit to break even, partials, blah 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 blah. I guess God heard all those. Every day I call you mine. Ain't heaven but it sure comes close. I was all kinds of lost. Set my heart back home. No one could save my soul but you and the Holy Ghost. Bow, 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 bow. But this is like ideal, tap in, respect, because this is my ideal area that I want to see get tapped into, and then shift. But, market opens up at 40 seconds. It's going to sweep some liquidity. It's probably going to come back down and sweep this liquidity, so it's probably going to tap into this dotted line. 20 seconds for the market to come back up. Because right now the market's it's collecting money so that the market can move in the direction it wants to move. Ideally, like if the market wants to go long for the day, it needs to come lower, take out anyone that's in buys, take out all their stops, and then it just eats its way up on people that are selling. The market gives zero fucks. But now we're open. Ideally, I want it to leave some people that are in longs because I want it to shit on everyone that's in buys or sells, I mean. Tap into that maybe. I mean, it'd be kind of crazy if it goes for the 1 minute, you know, news candle low. See, we swept that low. Swept that low. Closed within the minute range. It didn't create any gaps though, which is also nice to think that the market's going to go a little higher now. But we might also just be okay with price if it shifts here. Because ideally, obviously this is, your OTE or, optimal trade entry. You want it to be up there. Because there's a bunch of shit that I want the price to come back up into it and tap into and respect and shit. But we'll have to wait. Market took liquidity. Go higher. I want it to go higher. So I can go lower. Just keeps taking liquidity. If this 1 minute closes above, we should be good. Close long. Alright, yeah. Swept the low, close the long, tapped into a order block. We should go higher. Maybe. Who knows? Technically price though, we filled this whole 5 minute gap. We didn't close it, but we filled it. We also could sweep news low. Which is, this candle. This is why we don't trade pre-market. Because that's my safety net. That's where a lot of people get stopped out. That's my safety net. We just don't take any trades until we have something that's worth trading off of. If my model doesn't present itself, we don't take trades. Which would suck because, I'm trying to build my combine up so I can go to Express. When I go to Express, I want to be able to go to live and start pulling money out. But right now I have to trade. I have to pass an evaluation, which I've passed so many evaluations, and the fact that I've made no money is like insane. But I think it's, holding myself accountable and doing things I'm supposed to be doing. I think will make all the difference. We have 47 seconds before the 5 minute closes. And if we shift here, we could take a short entry here. It's insane. Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. Dun 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 dun. It's gotta take it though. It's just slowly going meh, 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 meh. Take it. Take it. Take out someone's stop loss. Take out someone's stop loss. Do it. Go higher. Right now the 5 minutes creating a gap, which sucks though because the 1 minute isn't making any gaps. So realistically this is all just manipulation. Ideally I want to take a trade before it's 11. So that's another hour and a half of trading. We're already an hour in. Surprised it hasn't taken that low yet. And bang. Took it. Alright, so we've taken news low. I want to see how price reacts after this. We disrespected the 5 minute gap. If we get a 5 minute change in the state, we should be golden. Technically we got a change in the state, but it wasn't after the gap was filled. It was after the gap. And based off how this 1 minute closes, we could be good to anyone that's looking for longs could long. But overall in the day, I really want it to short. But we are closer to our buy side target than we are to our sell side target. Alright, great. A doji candle. Go up or go down, market. Pick one. You got 2.5 minutes before this 5 minute candle closes. We might sweep, you know, all of day's liquidity before or shit the bed. One or the other. So let's look at this. I think the market low is here. This is a daily low. It's the lowest the market has gone all day. You know, this could be our manipulation. It could go higher. To take this target, you know. If we get a close above this, I can take a long. Or if this 5 minute shifts, we might have to wait. Might have to wait for this 5 minute to close. If we close above here and close above, if we can close bullish, I'll hop in immediately. But if we don't, I'll have to wait for the 1 minute change. There's just so many lows for the market to like. There's a lot, but these matter the most because these are daily levels. These are just hourly levels. All right. We could just be going lower from here. Well, we have an inside bar. This doesn't really make a difference. This 5 minute looks like it wants to shift. We'll have a 60-point stop loss, which is kind of outrageous, but going in, hey the Lord. I think this 5 minute is done. It just wants to keep going lower. I probably should have went lower. Like in cons. If we use this news candle as a manipulation, we ideally should go at least here, but market's gonna take me out around here if we keep going lower. So we got our 5 minute shift. Ideally, this would be the 1 minute candle I would use to retest and go higher, but do a limit sell one. And I'll probably bring me lower here. Put that back. We'll do a stop sell one here. Alright, bang. It should respect this. You know, it's candle 3, 2, 1, this high. I'm not sure what I did. Let's find out, I guess. Hmm. We got 5 seconds for this to go back down. Holy Jesus. Okay. Oh, Jesus. Low-key clenching my ass cheeks, but only because I didn't really enter where I should have entered, you know? So, alright, we have to fix our take profit because obviously now it's saying we're gonna make 670. Can't do that. And it's about to take that low again, so we're probably gonna have to move this up here. Right. It's already gonna take me out. I just want to see ideally where price is gonna have to react. We got another shift. We should keep going lower here. 5 minute has created multiple gaps. It's closed below. Taking some good entries. I mean, the initial entry was really bad. Retracement entry was also kind of scary, but we're good. As long as this 1 minute candle doesn't close the back above, that low candle, we should be fine. Or at least tap into, I guess, the first candle, the C1 candle. This candle that didn't fill the gap. So technically, if I'm gonna take a fair value gap re-entry, we gotta close. This 1 minute needs to close, but it can't fill this. It can't top the bottom of that candle, or we're gonna be fucked. But ideally, you'd want the market to come up, tap, and reject, respect, do all that other stuff. But um, I mean, RR wise, it's not good. It's a 1.5. It's not terrible, but like I said, we have all these like areas of interest, all these targets, or at least I guess that should have been there, and we would have held that there. See, this is much better. You know, risking $333. I'm gonna do the math real quick. 333, which realistically should have been 300, and then we times that by RR of 8.66. It's 2,600 bucks. Risking 300. You're risking 300 to make 2,600. Trade's done for the day. Alright, count temporarily deactivate a personal daily profit target. Congratulations on hitting your PDFT. A position has been closed and your working orders have been canceled. See you the next trading day. Free resource. We're here for you. Step on your trading journey. Join us on this, whatever, whatever. This is pretty much what it tells you when you've done it. So we've got locked out, personal daily profit target 500. This is the weekend, so it's going to take 2 hours and 7 days to open back up. I have been doing primarily good. I should close out of this stuff. No one's going to hop in chat. No one's in chat. It's fucking assholes, bro. Whatever. So, do this, do that. I'm probably going to end this since there's no real reason to keep doing this recording because you kind of seen this is the entry. It's just, shift, find a gap, tap into the gap, hold your horses, whatever, whatever. But see, yeah, I'm telling you, it's shit's printing. We'll probably take this daily low though. I really wanted it to come up here because it made a lot of sense for it to come up here. But I'm telling you, market does whatever it wants to do. You just got to react off of what it's giving you and call it a day. But it's taking all these hourly lows. All of these are reasons for the market to go lower because there's a lot of people that are in buys. So buy one got stopped out, buy two got stopped out, buy this guy that's holding his days, shit for days, and he's probably getting stopped out, more than likely in profit. Because a lot of people that trade the dailies, they have like stop loss here, next day, like next high day, and they probably entered like here. You know what I'm saying? They entered here and they're just slowly moving. We're talking about 41, it's 300, 330 points. If the guy's in on a mini, which is like 10 cons, he's $6,600 in profit. You know, Here we go, model presenting itself again. If we really wanted to. That high, that low, 2.2, 2.3. The market's giving you a lot of reasons why it wants to go lower. You just gotta catch it. It's just initial OTE range. This would have been sick if I could have caught it. But we then took the same RR on the same trade. Because your stop's a little bit bigger, the stop's a little bit smaller, but the distance is the same, almost, based off of your stop. That's why it's important that this is something that everyone takes seriously. But I'm gonna move this over here so I don't have to keep staring at it, just in case I want to make a I can't trade anymore. I'm locked out, but I can trade. I guess I can show you my trading stats, my performance stats. Trade win, taken 3 winning trades, best day % of total profits, I guess this is maybe not. Um, when did I start this account? Okay, trade win percentage. Took 5, lost 5. Average win loss. Making 200 bucks, risking 60 bucks. It's not bad. Day win percentage. Took 3. Um, yeah. So my first day trade was a loss. Took 5 trades. Took 2 trades, made my 500. Took 3 trades, made my 500. Which is weird because my account is supposed to stop me after 3 L's, or not 3 L's, 3 trades. So after 3 trades, I can't trade no more. So if I took a trade, I'm thinking I didn't like frizzle away or whatever, but oh, this shows you all of my trades except for the one that I took today. I think 28, 29, 29. Oh, it does. So this is the 4 cons. 4 cons would make me 330. The average up, the average down, which I think this was the average up when the market went from my entry went up and tagged me into that fair value gap. My initial entry, like these two should have been combined because I only should have taken one short. And then when the breakout, when the market came up, tapped in and broke down below, it would have averaged me down a little bit, and that's what that would have been. Because my entry price was 590, exit price was 555. So like a 35 point move, that's the difference. You know, 35 points isn't really a lot, but depending on your capital, what you're trading, what you're risking, all that shit, you know, all that shit ties in. But you notice that a lot of my moves aren't big. Like my L's, like I took a $100 loss, 25, 17, because these are probably averaged prices. This was the day that I took 5 trades and they were all losses, you know, which is important for this because I crash out. I will lose my goddamn mind if I lose money or not stick to a plan. Or I'll take trades where like a $600 stop loss is what I would take, knowing that I only should be risking 300. I have an issue. I know. I'm working on it. This is gonna help me get there. But and then the next day, yesterday I took that trade, and then I added that to that. So I went from that to that, and then today was that move, this additional, and that breakout. These are all shorts. These were all longs. See, this is where shit gets this is where shit gets fucked up when I'm in a day and I'm taking a long, and a short. I think I took a pre-market long or a night before. No, these are all mornings. Yeah, 906, 906, 906. I think I was trying to average my thing to be like 150 or something, and I think I was close or something, but I don't know. Took a long, realized the long wasn't playing out. Took a short wasn't working out. Realistically, the long got annihilated because the market was trying to come down. Like today, I wanted the market to come up, take some people out, and then shift and short. I was on a long. It took liquidity, and then I thought that we were going to take liquidity again or go short, and all it did was it market came down while I was in a buy position. The market came down, stopped me out, did a little consolidation, manipulated, shifted, and somewhere up here I was looking for a short, and the market just came up, tapped, consolidated, manipulated, and shifted, and it took me out. So it's the name of the game. You realistically have to look at each candle every time it prints, and you need to make it work. But I'm up $670 on the week. It's not bad. Took 10 trades. I have 2 accounts going. These shouldn't be here because these are accounts that I lost. I lost these before I started doing this. I have a 150 combine. I need to get this to, I think it's like 9,000. So I needed to make 159,000 right now. But the only reason I have this account is because I want to build it up. And then once I get my 150 combine to become an express, I'm going to make real money. And then I'm going to fund when I make money and I fund and I get the payout for the 50K, I'm going to fund and I'm going to, start up to 150,000. And then I have a plan I'll be trading both. And I have pretty much a piece. Unless you heard me on Ravel's piece of paper, I have a piece of paper that has me doing a 1 to 2 like risk to reward, and then trades moving forward. I'm gonna be taking 1 to 2 trades, but I by the time I mean realistically it's a month and a half, so like halfway into October, if all goes to plan, straight wins, which is highly unlikely. So in the beginning of November, I should be looking to possibly quitting my job because I'll have about maybe like 2 or 3 years of salary put to the side. I'm probably gonna cash it all out. I'm gonna be leaving Top Step, funding my own account just for tax purposes, because every time you get a payout, they take about 25 to 30% of your total profits and they keep it, and you gotta give that shit back to the IRS. And I'm not totally comfortable with, if I'm making money like that and I make $100,000, I don't want to give someone $30,000 just because, like damn man, I sat here for, I've been trading for like 2 years, two pushing three, but really taking it serious this past like year and a half, like dialing all in, up every day, trading every day, learning something every day. My Discord group, we're doing our thing, and I need this to work. I cannot keep doing what I'm doing. I love my family too much. I love my kid to death. I want to give her opportunities that I never had. Living in a home that was just broken, I can't. My girl's been kind of in the same boat. It's just not maliciously intact like I had growing up. Um, but yeah, I can't sit here and be in a position where my daughter needs something and I'm getting fucked. But I'm gonna close this now. My sister's calling me from prison. Hi, Yaz. You'll probably be seeing this recording. Peace.